Hey guys, this is Mark Shaws in the Pattern Trader, and in my weekly video report I touched on several themes and market opportunities that I've been focusing on for the last couple of weeks, namely the euro versus the US dollar, pound versus New Zealand dollar, the dollar versus the yen, and then I also went into a very thorough analysis of my correlation between silver and gold. Now, if you've caught my weekly two currencies crashing videos over the last couple of weeks, I've been saying that the euro versus the US dollar is destined for the 104, 105 support level that we hit in 2016, 2017, and possibly lower after that toward parity 1-to-1 with the US dollar. In the last couple of weeks, euro versus US dollars come crashing down from 112, currently perched around the 108. This is a pair that I've been harping on for quite some time, and to my mind, the risk of not being short in the euro is really the risk there. In this chart, we're looking at the euro versus the US dollar. This is a weekly chart. And the first thing I do when I open a chart to make an assessment is to basically ask myself, what is the phase, the direction, the condition of this market? And even going back several years before this chart, this market, the euro versus the US dollar, has gone from a 170 in 2009 to about 108 currently. So clearly in a well-defined primary downtrend. And once we can identify the major trend, then I look for certain patterns that put me in the direction of the trend. And here we see what I call a continuation pattern. So we have reversal patterns, patterns that reverse direction. And in this case, the pattern, once it crossed this 150 neckline, indicated that it was going in the primary direction, which is lower. Last week, you can see we made all-time new lows, multi-year lows, and to my mind, there's no reason that we're not going to see the 104 to 106 support area that we saw back in 2016 or 17. More recently, I was pointing out that this interim double top right here was going to be a formidable resistance area, and if we then crack the neckline at 110, that was going to open a new move lower. And this is what we're seeing. So the euro has been kind of a frustrating pair to trade for the last several weeks, but I do think now it's opening up new territory, and there's every possibility that we could get a movement and pick up even more steam as we break under these significant recent lows. And so there's nothing to my mind that's standing in the way of euro falling even further to the 102 to 104 area, and perhaps ultimately to parity 1-to-1 with the US dollar. Also, I've talked extensively about the pound versus New Zealand dollar. I've been harping on about this pair for about 3 years since I saw what I call a governing price pattern, a governing double bottom price pattern in late 2016, 2017. When I see these governing patterns, to my mind, they point in the direction that the trading instrument is headed, namely in the case of pound versus New Zealand dollar. Once pound New Zealand dollar bottomed at the 165 area in 2017, to my mind, it was going to be heading inexorably higher. And today we're just hovering a couple hundred pips off of multi-year highs. And I think it's not a question of if, but when this currency pair explodes. Now, I also did an extensive analysis on silver. While we had some excitement last year in July on the kind of Iran bombing Yemen, and we had the US trade war, and there's a whole bunch of excitement, and silver rallied from $16 to $20. To my mind, based on the price action and the governing price patterns in that instrument, we are still in a bear market until proven otherwise. Now, gold is somewhat of a different story, but it's a question of will silver start catching up to gold, or will gold ultimately be dragged down by the sluggish price action of silver? So I talk about all of these and many other instruments in my weekly video report. The weekly video report comes out each Sunday. Typically, we charge many hundreds of dollars on our websites for this information, but this week, the weekly video report is available to you for the grand price of anything you want to pay. That's right. You choose what kind of value you want to derive from this thing. Look at my methodology, see if this is something that can help you, see if it's something that can help your trading and improve your account balances and the way you look at the markets. You'll choose exactly what value you put on it, and we will send it to you. So with that said, I wish you a healthy and prosperous trading day, and I will see you next time.